Low reps build muscle. High reps get you toned. You've heard it 1,000 times. It might be the most confident-sounding lie in the entire gym, because the number of reps you do is not the switch that decides whether you build muscle, not the way you've been told. And the person doing endless light reps to get toned, and the person avoiding high reps because they think only heavy builds size, are both leaving gains on the floor for the exact same reason. By the end of this video, you'll know the truth about low reps versus high reps. You'll know what each one is actually good for, and you'll know the one thing that matters far more than the number you pick, the thing that decides whether any set grows muscle at all. Let's tear the old rule apart. First, let's be fair to the myth, because it comes from somewhere. You've probably seen the chart, the rep continuum. Low reps 1 to 5, that's for strength. The middle 6 to 12, that's for size. High reps 15 and up, that's for endurance and toning. 3 neat boxes. Pick your box, get your result. And it feels true. Powerlifters lift heavy for low reps, and they're incredibly strong. Bodybuilders live in the middle, and they're huge. The person doing 30 reps with pink dumbbells is usually not very big, so the boxes look real. But you're about to see why that chart confuses the effect with the cause. And it starts with a word that should not even exist: toning. Let's kill this one first because it poisons everything. There is no such thing as toning a muscle. A toned look is just 2 things: a muscle that has some size to it sitting under a low enough layer of body fat that you can see it. That's it. You cannot make a muscle firm without either building it or revealing it. High reps with tiny weights don't tone anything. They just don't do enough to change much at all. So the entire high reps for tone idea is built on something that isn't real. And its evil twin is just as wrong. The idea that high reps can spot tone one area, burn the fat off your arms or your belly with enough little reps. Your body does not pull fat from the muscle you're working. It pulls it from everywhere based on your overall eating. 100 reps of a triceps kickback will never melt arm fat. It just wastes your session. Now for the big one. The claim that low reps are for size and high reps aren't. Here's what the research actually found when they tested it head-to-head. They took people, put one group on heavy low reps and another on light high reps, and made sure both groups trained hard. And the muscle growth? Nearly the same. People built similar muscle whether they used heavy weight for 5 reps or lighter weight for 30. In one of the best-known studies, one group trained in the classic 8 to 12 range, and another ground out sets of 25 to 35 reps. Both trained to failure. When the researchers measured the muscle, the growth was basically a tie. The heavy group got stronger, sure, but for size, the light high rep group kept right up. Read that again because it breaks the chart. You can build muscle across a huge range of reps, roughly 5 reps all the way up past 30. The rep number was never the magic ingredient. So if it's not the reps, what is it? This is the part I need you to actually remember. Muscle grows when you take a set close to failure, close to the point where you could not do another good rep. That's the real trigger. Here's why the rep number stops mattering so much once you understand that. When you lift a heavy weight, your body has to call in its biggest, strongest muscle fibers immediately, right from the first rep, just to move it. Those big fibers are the ones with the most growth potential. But here's the secret. Light weight can reach those exact same fibers too. It just takes longer. As you rep out a lighter weight and fatigue builds, your body is forced to recruit more and more fibers to keep going. By the time you're near failure at rep 25, you've called in the same big fibers the heavy set hit on rep 1. Both roads arrive at the same place. One gets there fast with heavy weight and few reps. The other gets there slow with light weight and many reps. But the destination, near failure, deep fiber recruitment, is what actually builds the muscle. That's why both worked in the studies. So the real question was never low versus high. It was, did you train hard enough to get close to failure? That's the switch, not the number on the dumbbell. Now, before you run off and do everything with 1 rep for the rest of your life, let's be honest. Low reps and high reps are not identical. They just aren't different in the way you were told. Each one has a real personality, real strengths, and a real cost. Let's start with going heavy. Low reps, heavy weight, 1 to 5. This is the king of one thing: pure strength. Lifting near maximal loads trains your nervous system to fire hard and produce force. If your goal is a bigger squat, bench, or deadlift number, you have to spend time here. There's no way around it. But heavy comes with a bill. It's brutal on your joints, tendons, and your nervous system. It demands long warm-ups and long rest periods, and the margin for error is thin. Heavy weight with sloppy form is how people get hurt. You also get very few reps of practice, which matters when you're still learning a movement. Low reps are a scalpel, powerful, precise, and not something you wave around carelessly. So if heavy is so demanding, why not just go light and high forever? Because that road has its own toll booth. High reps, lightweight, 15, 20, 30 and up. The upside is real. It's gentle on your joints, which makes it fantastic for isolation work, for training around aches, and for building up tendons and connective tissue. And it absolutely can build muscle as long as you push those sets close to failure. But here's the catch nobody warns you about. High rep sets are miserable in a very specific way. Long before your muscle actually gives out, your lungs are burning, your heart is pounding, and that deep aching burn floods the muscle. Most people rack the weight because they're uncomfortable, not because the muscle is truly done. And that's the trap. If you stop at rep 18 because it burns, but you had 5 real reps left, you never got close to failure. You did a cardio set, not a growth set. High reps only work if you can grit through that discomfort all the way to the edge. Most people can't or won't. Think of the classic gym scene. Someone doing a long set of light lateral raises, and they stop the second it starts to burn, looking almost relieved. The muscle had plenty left. The brain just wanted out of the discomfort. That set felt hard and did almost nothing. Meanwhile, the burn is not the muscle growing or failing. It's just waste products building up. It's a feeling, not the finish line. So now look at what's left standing in the middle, and you'll finally understand why almost everyone trains there. The middle ground, roughly 6 to 15 reps. This range isn't magic. We already destroyed the idea of a magic range, but it is the most efficient place to work. Think about why. The weight is heavy enough that you reach failure in a reasonable number of reps, so you're not doing 30 exhausting reps per set. But it's light enough that your form holds and your joints aren't screaming like they do under a heavy single. And critically, it's the range where it's easiest to actually push close to failure without your lungs quitting before your muscle does. That's the whole reason bodybuilders live here, not because the number is special, because it's the sweet spot of efficiency and effort. So here's how a smart lifter actually uses all of this. You don't pick one box, you use the whole range on purpose. And if you're a beginner, the safest home is the middle. You get enough reps to practice good form, without the punishing joint stress of going super heavy or the lung-burning misery of going super high. Learn the movements there first. Earn the right to visit the extremes later. Put your big compound lifts, your squats, presses, rows, in the lower to middle range, around 5 to 8 reps, heavy enough to build real strength and brace your joints under load. Then put your isolation work, your curls, raises, extensions, leg curls, in the middle to higher range, around 10 to 20, lighter, joint-friendly, and easy to chase a deep burn without risking anything. And through all of it, the constant never changes. Take your sets close to failure. A good rule. On most sets, stop when you have about 1 to 3 good reps left in the tank, close enough to failure to trigger growth, not so reckless that your form falls apart or you can't recover. That's the real skill, not picking a magic number, learning to push to the right edge. Let me make that edge concrete, because most people badly misjudge it. If you finished a set and, being honest, you could have done 5 more reps, you weren't close to failure. That set did very little. The last few hard reps of a set, the ones that feel slow and shaky, are where most of the growth signal lives. Cut the set off too early and you skip the only reps that mattered. So learn the feeling. A working set should end when the next rep would be a genuine struggle or the last one you could do with clean form. All right, let's turn this into something you can use today. Step 1. Drop the word toning from your vocabulary. You either build muscle or reveal it. That's the whole game. Step 2. Match the reps to the job. Heavy compounds around 5 to 8 for strength and tension. Isolation work around 10 to 20 for a joint-friendly pump. Step 3. Make effort the constant, not the reps. Every working set, push until you have only 1 to 3 good reps left. That is the switch that actually builds muscle. Step 4. If a range hurts your joints or you dread it, change it. Growth is similar across the ranges, so pick the one you can train hard and keep doing. Step 5. Whatever you pick, apply progressive overload. Beat your last numbers over time. The rep range is the container. Progression is the engine. So let's bring it home. Low reps versus high reps was the wrong fight all along. Low reps spawn pure strength and cost you joint stress and risk. High reps are joint-friendly but demand you grit through the burn to the real edge. And muscle? Muscle grows across almost the whole range as long as you take the set close to failure. Effort is the switch. The rep number just decides the flavor. You came here to find out which one builds muscle. The answer is both, and neither until you bring the effort that actually counts. Now you know how to use all of them.
If this cleared it up, subscribe and stick around. We break down the science of building muscle in plain English every single week. Now go train hard and go train smart.